Welcome to Feedback Friday. My name is Lara Heimann. I'm a physical therapist and the creator of the Lit Yoga Method. So I'm going to look at Janick and give her feedback on her form to help her possibly move better. So let's take a look at Janick.
Hi Lara, my name is Janick. I've been practicing Lit Yoga since 3 years, since the beginning of the platform. I did a yoga teacher training 1 year prior to that. And I did the first course of the Lit Yoga teacher training online. I will do the class that's called This Is How We Do It. I'm just going to start with a pike because it's only been 1 year since I'm able to do it, and I feel I need some good feedback from you. And then I will continue with the sequence 3 from the class. So
Wonderful.
Here we go.
Here we go. Beautiful form. Here she tries a pike. Nice control. Nice control of the pelvis. Now she's watching me as I watch her.
Add a hop if you'd like, holding that back open. Come down or switch in midair. Right in the lunge.
Beautiful.
And lightly up for left. Side lunge to the left.
She's doing a sunset L.
Turn to the front with the chest open. Right foot slides back. Push down with the right toes. Catch a little air. Land and right crescent lunge. Again, want the pelvis
Beautiful.
fully balanced here. Right hand on the sacrum, left arm up.
So I see your head's a little forward. That would be one thing I would try and get you more in that triple S.
At the very beginning. Just the chest. It wasn't the front ribs. Open there.
Pelvis looks good.
Again, isn't about hanging out. You want to feel at any point we can lift up into neutral.
Yeah, you can see your head is trying to figure out what to do. I think if you lift from the sternum to give your head a little more support, that'll help.
A seated twist position. Make any adjustments you need to. Really get tall. Grab the outer ribs. Inhale, exhale.
So here again, we can see your neck is a little bit, the head is a little forward. It's not major, but I think that is making your ribs want to thrust, but you're really containing it well. Don't really have any major corrections yet.
Unwind to the back of the mat. Go left. Right hand down. Right knee down. That right hand really helping us as we lift the left leg.
Yeah, so let's pause here on this modified side plank. We can really see that scapula. You're super strong, but what I am sensing is there's a little struggle between the head placement and the thorax, and then how that allows the scapula to fully land. So what I mean by that is when you were doing your lift switch, you're strong. This was all good. You didn't lift your head too much. I thought you might. But when you get that leg over, you're like the ribs stay back. And so you have to really pull your head more in alignment and pull the front ribs in to feel that containment. So it was very minor, but I saw it there. And then in your crescent, you can just sense that your head is just a little forward. And then when you came into that seated twist, it's staying a little forward. So when you came around to modified side plank, that setup of this forward and this tending the thrust really shows up, because you had your hand down and your elbow is revealing that the scapula is unstable. So that elbow looks like it's hyperextended, but what it really is it is destabilized from the scapula, and you're working. But I would really take time to feel the scapula suction onto the back. And you can look at your elbow and not let it drag forward. Hold the chin in a little bit like you're holding, so I'll do it this way. So you're holding like a apple or something, but that elbow going forward is really giving us the knowledge that the scapula isn't holding, because that scapula pulls in and the elbow won't have that hyperextended look. So let's keep going.
In the knee, you can catch the foot if you don't pinch in your pelvis or push your ribs forward. That's just a habit. So you can break it, and this is how we do it.
Again, the scapula, they just look a little winging, and that is really that they're pulling the front ribs in, might give them more support here.
It's easier to grab your foot, stay there, or even take it behind your table. That feels right.
And the table looks
Right
good,
scapula
really
lifts you up.
beautiful. Very nice, even extension.
The head.
And the head looks lovely,
Whatever feels right, stay there.
letting that release.
Coming around, left middle step, pivot to the right for warrior two. Right leg is facing forward.
So again, in warrior two, just try and pull the front of the throat back just so slightly.
Lift. Slinky lift
But the
up.
ribs look nice here.
Inhale. Exhale, warrior variation, land lightly. And inhale. Exhale, reverse. Windmill to the front. Comes our lizard opportunity. Left hand on the floor or lock, left knee down.
Good with the pelvis, really nice. And let's watch this left scapula here as well. So see, it's kind of popping away. It needs to plug in, and you need to lean back into it.
Pushing the scapula.
Lean back into that left scapula. So you want to feel that full weight down through the wrist.
Our breath here. Breathe into the back. Stand.
Again, the scapula isn't going to be flat to the back, but if it's popping up a little bit more like that in an obvious way, it just is looking for some stability. Your dolphin looks beautiful.
Did it. You can tiny push off of the left toes if you're comfortable there. These are all options, but don't forsake step two.
Yeah, so going into forearm balance looks really nice. Again, let's just talk about the rib cage. So I think this is all left over. I can tell the movement pattern is left over, that the ribs they want to go forward, and the head is kind of forward as well. So when you bring your head back, the ribs still have this memory of going forward. So really holding them in is going to give an anchor to the scapula. So when you go into that forearm balance, you want to really feel like you're leaning into the scapula, and then when you get up here, I want you to actively, so your ribs are a little bit like that, I want you to really actively draw the bottom of your ribs down toward the pelvis. So if I'm upright, it would look like this, and that's going to give my scapula something to hook onto. So if they start to move away, the scapula feels less stable. And then upside down, you have to kind of, turn it upside down and think, same idea. Can I pull this together and hold it so I can lean on the scapula? Warrior variation, my only comment there is your head is a little forward, so that makes, I'll do it from the side, your ribs are a little bit forward as well. So pull the neck back, and when you come into warrior variation, you are really leaning way down. Actually just lightly land and lift into the ribs. And at the same time, as you lift up, pull the ribs, drawing them together. So if you go here, you're more likely to kind of thrust there. You weren't doing it that much, but this is a little bit more resting than getting it lifted. You always want to get that support into the rib cage. But again, your practice is beautiful, very impressive. These are small changes that'll really help you feel like more stable there. See how you're kind of wanting to flip over. It's the ribs that are moving and arching ever so slightly that makes you feel less balanced. See how easily you move in those front ribs. It's not a wrong thing when you go into that cow, but almost limit how much you go into the cow. Down dog looks great. You're getting the pelvis lifted. Oh yeah, see how when you're hopping, your ribs stay back. And so don't let your head lift too much.
Together.
Yeah, that's it. You're so strong. So she finished off. So I'll just show you when you're hopping, this is where all that stuff really comes up. Your down dog looks great, but your muscle memory is that as your hips, as your head lifts, the ribs drop down. So I would actually practice looking at your thighs and not lifting your head, and bring your thighs in as close as you can, and don't be too eager to get the legs up, and really try and hold, connect. You could even put a block in there, because then you'll have that stability. Because when you came up and you hopped, you lifted your head and the ribs went like that. Then you're just gonna always fight that, trying to balance. You're able to do it because you're strong, but you're probably not able to stabilize. So that was it. She has a beautiful practice. You can send any form of practice. It could be way more fundamental than that. Anything up to 8 minutes, we will take, and I will look at and break it down to help you. And I'd love to help you. So click on the link below and let me help you so that you can move better. Until then, stay lit up.